Subhanahu wa ta'ala humpa adhabu moja.
Yaani mpaka inafikia pahali mwanadamu anaweza kavuka mipaka. Ndio ile Mwenyezi Mungu anasema innal insana la yatgha, hakika mwanadamu huvuka mipaka. Arraahu istaghna, anapoona Mwenyezi Mungu amemtajirisha, Mwenyezi Mungu amempatia kazi, Mwenyezi Mungu amempatia cheo, Mwenyezi Mungu amfanyia kadha na kadha na kadha, basi hujisahau.
Swala zote na salamu zimfikie Hashimu mwenye cheo kwa karimu.
Kenyanji, wacha kila mtu alirie tumbo yake. In fact, I have a gazillionaire business to attend. So hiyo idea yako, go and try it somewhere.
Mr. President, yani wewe huoni hapa venye kuna opportunity ya pesa?
How I wish all the ladies were like you, Nadia.
If worsens were horses, beggars would ride on them.
Guys, I have a surprise for you.
Hey, Jack, what kind of surprise is it?
Who cares what kind of a surprise? Surprise is a surprise to surprise.
Omera, I do not take mixed tea. I've already taken my continental breakfast in the comfort of my apartment. So, no thanks.
Maybe they were blown by the wind.
Imagine I just left them here. All my expensive galots are gone. My galots.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Lunchtime News. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter is Byron Abole. Well, we have a comprehensive bulletin lined up this afternoon. You can interact with us on our social media handle at KBC Channel 1. Now, to kick us off, Kenya will deploy an additional contingent of 600 police officers to the multinational security support mission in Haiti. This follows a resolution by the UN Security Council to extend the mandate of the mission for another 1 year. President William Ruto, who hosted the Haiti Prime Minister Gary Conille, who is in the country for a 4-day official visit at State House Nairobi, has in the meantime called on the international community to match up their commitments to the mission, as the restoration of peace in the Caribbean nation might be hampered by personnel, logistical and financial constraints.
Commitment, their pledges, with the necessary action for us to be able to complete the task ahead of us. Kenya and Haiti therefore stand united in calling on the international community to urgently rally behind this mission.
The leadership is also very much engaged with the leadership of the police force in strategic thinking, in understanding, in collecting intelligence, and finding out how to use it more effectively. So that exchange is also helping build up the capacity of the Haitian force itself.
In other news, police officers are closing in on the prime suspect in the Quarry murders, Colin Jumaisi Kalusha, who escaped from Gigiri Police Station. Deputy Inspector General of the National Police Service, Eliud Langard, says they have received a tip-off of his possible whereabouts, and officers investigating the matter are on his trail.
The fugitive is still at a run. The investigation is ongoing. Actions were taken against the police who we deem that they never did their work right. Otherwise, we are closing into that suspect, and as soon as we close in and rearrest him, we will be ready to proceed with the rest of the investigation. Otherwise, we ask the members of the public continue to support us in looking for this fugitive.
The Evangelical Alliance of Kenya in Kisii County has welcomed President William Ruto's assurance of the government's commitment to protect the freedom of worship in the country. Speaking in Kisii town, the EAK's Executive Council Committee led by Bishop Charles Isaboke termed the Religious Organizations Bill 2024 proposed by Senator Danson Mongatana to regulate religious activities as draconian and threatens to infringe the freedom of worship as enshrined in the Constitution. The committee further called on political leaders to respect religious organizations in the country.
Tunataka president ajue kwamba chochote ambacho kinainuka kinyume na kanisa awe wa kwanza kulisbon na kusimama imara na kusema kwamba kanisa haitakani kufanyiwa mchezo. Athibitishe kwamba hiyo sheria itolewe kule Senate, na namba 2 ikimalizwa kutolewa kwa Senate waombe kanisa msamaha.
Kama kanisa pia hatutaweza kuangalia pia inji ya Mungu ikiwa inaharibika na kwamba tuweze kunyamaza. Kwa hivyo inafika wakati sasa kwamba kanisa tunakataa hiyo kitu tukisema kwamba let the church stand for itself.
Maombi yetu kama kanisa na pia watumishi wa Mungu ni kwamba tutumie kanuni ambayo Yesu alisema katika Matthew 18 ambayo anasema uendee ndugu yako moja kwa moja, ndiye akikushinda unamtafuta wa pili, akikushinda unatafuta wa tatu, unampeleka kanisani ndio unamhesabu.
The Ogiek community in Nakuru County have rejected the recent ruling by the Environment and Land Court that ordered the government to settle over 45,000 residents of Eastern Mau in 6 settlement schemes within the county. In his ruling, Justice John Mutungi said that settlers had adduced sufficient evidence to prove they were legally settled in Nesuit, Marioshoni, Sururu, Likia, Sigotik and Terit settlement schemes measuring 35,301 hectares, a move that has since sparked an uproar among the Ogiek community. The members, led by the Ogiek Council of Elders National Secretary General Martin Lele, however, say the Arusha Landmark Court ruling had earlier granted them legal rights.
The recent judgment has ignored the concern of the community. We call upon the relevant authorities to respect and uphold the rights of the Ogiek community, ensuring justice and fairness in the implementation of court ruling.
Hiyo mwelekeo ya jaji imechukua hatua ya kisiasa. Kwa ufupi ningetaka kusema hivi. Eastern Mau msima yote ni ya jamii Ogiek according to ruling ya African Court. Na hiyo kama hiyo amusa itatekelezwa, mwezi ujao tutakuwa African Court na tutaomba mahakama na tutayarisha ya kwamba sasa tutaelekea International Court of Justice.
Sasa sisi kama jamii Ogiek, hata sisi kwa maoni yetu tunampeleka Arusha aende ajibu kwa hiyo maoni yake aliona ni nini.
Migori County Contractors and Suppliers Association has put Migori Senator Eddie Oketch to task over his remarks at the Senate over delays by the county in settling pending bills dating back to 2014. According to the association, the senator's sentiments are an exaggeration as the county has already cleared pending bills dating back to 2014. The association further stated that only the bills from 2018 worth 4 million shillings remain unpaid and that the county has promised to settle them by the end of the month. They also pressured the senator to clarify his position on resolving political issues that they say have contributed to the accumulation of pending bills.
Yeah, the county government of Migori has undertaken and addressed our concerns. Our concerns as contractors and suppliers by paying most of our members whose bills were dating back to 2014. Today, we only have 5 cases of 2018 in our records as pending bills. And 2021-2022 financial year, which have since been factored in this year's supplementary budget.
There are county government employees who are also contractors. And because of that, there is conflict of interest. So we are putting them on notice as from today that they should desist being contractors and be employees, or they should resign and become contractors.
Now, Kenyans have been challenged to actively take part in addressing issues ailing the economy instead of relying on government to address issues affecting them. Economists argue that inflation, industrialization and unemployment should not only be addressed by the government but should be the collective responsibility of all citizens. The remarks were made during the official launch of Intermediate Micro and Macroeconomics book by Dr. Samuel Oresi. The book seeks to make the public understand the principles and dynamics of the economy.
Kenya being a developing country, we want really to know how to get out of this kind of poverty that we are in. We want to see how we can move from where we are to where we want to be. We want to be industrialized. How do we reach there?
In other news, a new report by ID Insight in collaboration with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has revealed substantial gaps in the integration of financial and non-financial data within Kenya's health sector. According to the report, Kenya's health financing decisions are based almost exclusively on financial data, while critical non-financial data such as health service delivery metrics and patient outcomes are largely overlooked.
The disconnect the study suggests is contributing to inefficiencies in the sector and limiting the country's ability to achieve optimal health outcomes. Speaking during the report dissemination event in Nairobi, Dr. Frida Njogu Ndongwe, ID Insight's Regional Director for Eastern and Southern Africa, emphasized the importance of integrating both financial and non-financial data for more effective budget decision-making.
We want to see government and even parliament, when they are, when they are holding government to account for, say, for instance, investments in health, to not only ask, how did you spend this money? We want to hear, why are women still dying? We want to actually see people using both health outcome data and these other data to actually determine whether to provide oversight to the executive.
According to the study, financial data, which is reported through the Integrated Financial Management Information System, IFMIS, is disconnected from non-financial health data, which is tracked via the Kenya Health Information System.
The missing point at this stage is that government really doesn't know how to track or doesn't have the capacity to track well the outcomes. But when we add indicators to the program-based budget that shows outcome data, that links the outcome of the government programs, then we should be able to tell where is the money getting lost along the way.
The report also notes that while Kenya has increased its health expenditure, the spending is not traceably linked to improved health outcomes. For instance, maternal death rates in the year 2018 to 2020 were at 365 deaths per 100,000 live births compared to 355 deaths per 100,000 live births in the year 2021 to 2022, while neonatal death rates in 2018-2019 were at 22 deaths per 1,000 live births compared to 2019 to 2020, which were at 21 deaths per 1,000 live births.
We are barely moving the needle. Despite a lot of investments in this space, we've had Linda Mama, we've had all these things.
Kenya's health sector, according to the report, can learn from the education sector, where school boards of management play a critical role in accountability, something that is largely absent in the health facilities.
Who is responsible for efficient service delivery? The hospitals, it is the board, is it the ministry? Education has a bit of that, especially at the universities, whereby the university boards are held for both financial and non-financial performance.
Maria Ambo reporting for the Lunchtime News.
Kenyans living in diaspora are embracing the use of traditional medicine in a bid to avert reproductive health diseases and lifestyle-related diseases. According to Harriet Chebet Ngok, the director of Harriet Botanicals, the demand for traditional herbs has increased exports, with market demands being the United States of America, Canada and the European Union countries. She made the remarks during the Year of Return Expo in Nairobi.
Panel discussion and listen to other speakers speaking about the global market share of Kenya in the world. And in that same regard, we as Botanicals would love to export our products to the wider diaspora.
We need also to kind of know how to package some of those products, how to promote them, how to create logistics that can allow those products to reach the end consumer.
In other news, the government has been challenged to scale up efforts in dealing decisively with cases of gender-based violence, defilement, teenage pregnancy. Speakers at an event to mark the International Day of the Girl Child that took place in Nairobi claimed cases of girls dropping out of school due to barriers such as early marriages and poverty have reached an alarming rate in the country, and time for action is now. The group also called on the government to ensure the perpetrators of rape and defilement cases face a full force of the law. The International Day of the Girl Child is commemorated annually to promote girls' education and upscale public awareness campaign on the barriers to girls' well-being.
Eradication of period poverty. We can talk about issues that are impacting the girls. Access to sanitary pads so that they don't waste the time they're supposed to be in school. We can talk about early pregnancy. Girls who are so young right now in Kenya are getting pregnant between the age of 15 and 19, being turned into mothers when they are themselves children. We can talk about these issues and see how interventions and mitigations can be done to ensure that these girls are not being distracted from what they are supposed to be doing.
There is a decline in the girls' education or in the performance of girls. We took time to ask ourselves what has gone wrong and how can we salvage what is remaining. And we realized gender and education are so intertwined that we needed to address them.
We want everyone to come on board. So we have created gender and education movement as an omnibus where everyone should come on board to support the improvement of girls.
And we believe that with more sensitization within the community and also just being able to advocate for the dissemination of the same together with the government, we'll be able to create much more impact in terms of ensuring that each and every girl child, despite of the challenges that they have in this aspect, teenage pregnancies, are able to continue with their education.
Now, tension is building in Wambiru South over the ownership of a 44,000-acre land, with two groups claiming ownership. A group calling itself Ngome Clan has threatened to mobilize the youth to evict their counterparts from the land it alleges to be its ancestral land. Locals residing in the land have, however, vowed to stay put, saying they will cede any parcel.
I'm calling on the government, both the national government and the county government, waharakishe hii maneno, kumaliza hii maneno ya mashamba. Hivyo sisi kama wakaaji wa Mwea sub-county tunaomba serikali kuu na county government itupatie vyeti za kumiliki ardhi.
Haya, hiyo pasenti wanasema hiyo hata itupiliwe mbali sana. Sisi tulikuja huku kitamba, nyanya zetu wameshikwa huku, babu zetu wameshikwa huku, na hakuna mahali tunaweza enda.
Kitambulisho yetu imeandikwa Makima, Mbere, South, Embu County, sote tuko Embu.
And now we cross over to the corridors of justice, where Justice Lawrence Mugambi has forwarded the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's impeachment case to Chief Justice Martha Koome to constitute a 3 to 7 judge bench as requested by his counsel on Wednesday. Now let's listen in to what Justice Mugambi had to say earlier on.
And E506 of 2024. So that is the decision of the court. Expiration date. No. I believe the deputy registrar should be able to kindly get the analysis part. So on the 9th of October 2024, the advocates for the parties in petitions E522 of 2024, E509 of 2024, E537 of 2024, E528 of 2024, E524 of 2024, and E506 of 2024. Yes, appeared before me for directions in aforementioned matters which relate to the impeachment process of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. The court allowed the advocate to submit with a view to assisting the court to fashion appropriate directions to make in respect of the cases without delving into the substance of the application and the petition. As part of those submissions, two issues prominently featured: the empanelment of a bench to hear the petitions and an application to transmit the files to the principal judge of the High Court for consolidation of the matters. The petitioners who had made the application for empanelment of a petitioner number in E509 of 2024 and the petitioner in E522 of 2024. Their applications for empanelment were vehemently opposed by the respondents. For context, it is necessary to indicate the petitioner in petition E509 of 2024 and who was represented by Mr. Wambiru, and in prayer 6 of the notice of motion dated 30th of September 2024, sought an order in the following terms, and I quote, that the matter be certified as raising weighty legal issues and the same be remitted to the Chief Justice for empanelment of a given number of judges for hearing and termination of the petition. In petition number E522 of 2024, the petitioner had similarly included the prayer in the notice of motion dated 2nd of October 2024 as follows: that upon inter partes hearing of the application or such other time as the court may determine, this honorable court be pleased to certify this matter raises questions of great general public interest for empanelment of a bench of an even number of judges for hearing and termination. End of quote. I will not go through the petitioner submissions, which are in the ruling, and also the submissions by the respondents. So I'll go straight to the analysis and termination part. From the submissions of the advocates hearing, the two issues which arose was whether I should forward these files to the principal judge of the High Court based on Section 61 of the High Court Organization and Administration Act, Cap 8C, Laws of Kenya. And number two, whether I should certify this matter to the Chief Justice for empanelment of an even bench to hear and dispose this petition. For the first issue, it is important that I set out the provisions of Section 61 of the High Court Organization and Administration that the respondent cited as the basis of the application for this court to transmit these files to the principal judge so that they may be consolidated with others that they alleged are similar. Section 6 states as follows: the principal judge shall be responsible to the Chief Justice for the overall management, for the overall administration and management of the court. B, ensuring order and proper conduct of business of the court. C, the constitution of benches of 2 or more judges in consultation with the Chief Justice, and D, undertaking such other duties as may be assigned by the Chief Justice. The above section of the respondent cited in urging that I should transmit the files before this court to the principal judge, based on allegation that there are other matters raising identical issues, is in my view inapplicable.
Well, our reporter Ruth Wamboy will be compiling a comprehensive report on that. Well, for now, we take a short break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far, we still have more news coming up. Let's take the break.
So can we trust him?
Of course not.
Why have I been locked out of G&J?
Nixon unajua uamuzi yenye ilifanywa na board.
And I've put so much into this company.
Are you here to pass your goodbyes?
Hey, wewe. We ni nani?
What do you have for me?
Sikupewa wakili.
I need you to set up a meeting with Millicent. It's urgent.
I want this case dropped. Whoa. They are forcing my hand, Nick. They are forcing my hand.
We have to make a decision before 4 p.m.
I trust you in this, so do it.
No food, no water for 2 days.
What?
Welcome back. This is Lunchtime News. Hundreds of Muslim faithful led by Sheikh Said Maalim Juma held processions along the streets of Isiolo town chanting praise as part of the Maulid celebrations to celebrate Prophet Muhammad. It's during the fete that religious leaders made an appeal to both Muslims and non-Muslims in the country to uphold peace, love and unity in honor of the Prophet. Maulid is an annual festival to commemorate the birth date of Islamic Prophet Muhammad, usually marked on the 3rd month of the Islamic calendar.
Tunapofanya sherehe hatupendelei watu wagawanyike. Tunapenda watu wakuwe kitu kimoja. Mwenyezi Mungu ni mmoja na anapenda umoja. Kwa hivyo tunapokuwa na umoja ndio tutakuwa na nguvu. Kwa hivyo hatupendelei kugawanyika kwamba huyu anasema hivi, huyu anasema hivi. Sote tuwe na msimamo kwa hili jambo.
There are differences between Muslim whereby others are celebrating and others are not celebrating. These are just ikhtilaf and these are just school of thoughts. And what I would urge Muslims to do in the world is to just have peace. If you're not celebrating, let others celebrate. And if you are celebrating, don't talk bad about the others who are not celebrating. Let's keep peace because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is peace. Wama arsalnaka.
And now let's take a look at business news, where agricultural industry leaders have emphasized the urgent need for farmers to adopt sustainable energy practices to mitigate post-harvest losses that continue to plague the agricultural sector. Now, speaking during the 8th Global Solar Off-Grid Forum at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, Karthik Guravyani, the Vice President of International Business, highlighted the critical role of reliable off-grid cold storage systems in enhancing food security and improving farmers' incomes. Energy experts attending the expo have stressed that embracing sustainable energy practices not only addresses the immediate issue of post-harvest losses, but also contributes to broader environmental goals.
To grow your crops, you need proper irrigation. And to run irrigation, you need a power source. What better than using the free power source called the sun? So by irrigating the fields, your crop yields go up, increasing food production. That is at one level. Second, once you have produced a lot of food, you have to keep it in cold storage so that the food does not spoil. Otherwise, if you produce a lot of food and it goes bad, what's the point? Once again, you're short of food. So you increase yield using solar pumps. and you increase preservation using solar cold rooms, which overall increase the amount of food present in the country, ensuring not just food security. This extra food ensures you can export.
And now we cross over to Malaba One-Stop Border Post, where the Kenya Revenue Authority is launching the Malaba Trade Facilitation Center. The center aims to enhance trade facilitation by providing efficient, effective and citizen-centric border services through a one-stop platform. Now, we join our reporter, Wycliffe Okech, who is currently at the Malaba One-Stop Border Post, to give us comprehensive details regarding the launch. Wycliffe?
Well, thank you so much, and good afternoon to you, Jackie Wambiru, back in Nairobi. Like you mentioned, we are coming to you live from the Malaba One-Stop Borders Post. Remember, it is the Customer Service Week, and of course, the Kenya Revenue Authority is marking the culmination of the week in style. And like you mentioned, it is opening a service center here at the Malaba Border Post, and much more regarding the office that has just been commissioned. I am going to engage the Deputy Commissioner that is in charge of border control, and of course, that is Mr. Chege Masharia. Basically, if you can just move here, I'll invite you to look into the camera and speak to our viewers who are watching at this point. They want to know, what more do we expect from this border post? What is this, from this service center? What is it, how is it expected to augment activities or operations here at the Malaba? Introduce. Yeah, I'll hold it for you. Just look into the camera.
Yeah, I'm Chege Macharia. I work for Kenya Revenue Authority, Customs and Border Control. I'm in charge of border control and enforcement as the Deputy Commissioner. Yeah, considering the delivery center, let me state that when we did the OSBP, Malaba One-Stop Border Post, we did it in a way that each agency was to operate from its own office. You find like KRA are currently operating from one office. You go to KEBS, they're also operating from another office. And immigration from a different office. What it means is that when somebody is new in this particular or is coming as a visitor, you have to move or ask for direction to those various offices. What it means is that the service delivery is not what we can say is as expected. By coming up now with the service center, we are going to benefit a lot. And before even I talk of the benefits, let me say that as KRA, we are proud to be celebrating the Customer Service Week. And this week, we are also launching the Malaba One Border Post Service Delivery Center, where we are now. So it is a great milestone that we are proud of to have achieved. And we try to believe that it will help a lot in trade facilitation.
One of the activities that are involved here, of course, this is the border point, and being in charge of customs, we also expect that probably this facility will facilitate or augment operations in terms of customs. When we're talking about revenue mobilization, can you paint for us a picture how it was before and now, how this facility is expected to augment all that?
When it comes to revenue mobilization, it is quite clear that revenue mobilization can only be there or can be at its peak when the service delivery is smooth. So in terms of revenue mobilization, let me say that this service delivery center will help a lot because of turnaround. you expect as many customers you attend to is the same. That also is implies that you also collect a lot of taxes. So as we attend to many customers or many taxpayers, then it means that we are going to be very efficient, and our revenue collection will also go up. Other than revenue collection, we are there to facilitate trade. And facilitation of trade can only come when we are able to attend to your customer in a very efficient way. When you look at the way we have done this service center, it is quite clear that it requires one person or one taxpayer to just walk in, and you are served from one desk. Then in a few seconds, you move to the other. It is not like previously where you have to go knocking offices. Sometimes you are attended by immigration, but when you go to KRA or any other office, you find maybe somebody has walked out for some few minutes. You end up waiting. So even supervision of work will be very easy from this center. And I tend to believe that the whole of government approach will be fully achieved when we are operating from this service center.
I will engage you more off-air when we're done with this, but thank you for that live update for our viewers. Wambiru, that is Chege Macharia, that is the Deputy Commissioner from the KRA, that is in charge of Customs and Border Control, talking to us about the benefits that this facility stands to give to the, in terms of service delivery. Remember, it has been the customer service week, and of course, the waterway to culminate the week, and of course, like we already mentioned, that this facility is going to assist in a long way in terms of revenue mobilization in order to help assist the country in generating more revenues. That is it from this end. We will engage more of course, but we will facilitate or rather compile a detailed report from regarding this facility for our viewers later on. But for now, Wambiru, it's back to you in studio.
Well, thank you so much, Wycliffe Okech, joining us from the Malaba One-Stop Border Post, whereby the KRA has launched the Malaba Trade Facilitation Center. Well, Wycliffe will have a comprehensive report in our subsequent bulletins. For now, we move on. Cooperative directors will serve for a maximum of 2 terms as the government tightens savings and credit cooperatives society regulations. Now, Cooperative Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Okech says term limits will entrench good leadership and reduce incidences of fraud that have characterized the Sacco movement.
The government has been keen on regulating Saccos as cases of fraud continue to haunt a number of savings societies. Plans are underway to set term limits for Sacco directors in a bid to reduce fraud incidences. Cooperative Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Okech says the Cooperative Bill 2024 will ensure directors only serve for 2 terms to reduce malpractice cases.
The savings are about 1.2 trillion, and out of that, about 1 trillion has been given out as loans.
This has been set up to audit coffee and sugar cooperatives' books as their debt continue to rise despite constant bailouts by the government. Saccos have been encouraged to consider advancing credit to investors in the manufacturing sector to grow their books and spur development.
Borrowing has to be approved by a committee within the Commissioner's office, so that difficult questions are asked. You are borrowing for what? To ensure that you just don't incur debt and then come and ask for the government to waive the debt.
That we can use this model to empower people and make them be productive in their various ways. Even in our space, we are looking at Kenya, the big Saccos, the Police Sacco, Mwalimu, Arambe, Stima. The membership also should start driving towards 1 million plus.
They were speaking during this year's Savings and Credit Cooperatives Association Sacco Congress that brings together 42 countries from the continent. Ian Muse for Lunchtime News.
We now take a look at sports news, where Harambee Stars must overcome Cameroon in the two-legged 2025 AFCON qualifiers to take charge of Group J after the Warriors of Zimbabwe overcame Namibia 1-0 in their qualifier last night to throw the group wide open. Zimbabwe now lead Group J with 5 points following that win, with Harambee Stars a point adrift before tonight's march away to the indomitable Lions of Cameroon, who occupy the third position with 4 points too, but with an inferior goal difference. Harambee Stars drew 0-0 with Zimbabwe before they overcame the brave Warriors of Namibia to win. Captain Michael Olunga and defender Daniel Anyembe, who are back in the squad from injury, believe they can upset the 5 times African champions in their own backyard, with the match set to take place in Ahmadu Ahdijo tonight at 7 p.m. Dominic Musili is the winner of the Sport Pesa midweek jackpot after bagging 20,801,394 Kenya shillings. Now, the father of 3 correctly predicted the outcome of all 13 games as required in the Sport Pesa midweek jackpot to become a millionaire. Musili, who has tried his luck several times, said the money will impact a lot in his life in these hard times.
Your messenger congratulations. Ilikuja some minutes after hiyo game ilisha haikukaa. Ilikuwa imeandikwa congratulations, umewini 20 million. Nilianza kucheza Sport Pesa kitambo, nimekuwa nikiwini through bonus.
Defending World Cup and Copa America champions Argentina were held to a 1-1 draw by Venezuela as Lionel Messi made his return in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Nicolas Otamendi's header opened the score for the Argentines as Salomon Rondon equalized for Venezuela in the second half. In other matches, 5 times World Cup champions Brazil edged past Chile in a 2-1 thriller, while 10-man Bolivia beat Colombia 1-0. Vangelis Palvidis was on target twice as Greece upset England 2-1 in the UEFA Nations League to top Group 2 in a befitting tribute for George Baldock, who passed away recently. Belgium came from behind to hold 10-man Italy to a 2-2 draw, while Norway beat Slovenia 3-0 thanks to the Erling Haaland brace. Well, that report brings us to the end of our bulletin this afternoon. Thank you so much for choosing KBC Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Our sign language interpreter is Byron Abuli. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
This week on the 77% Street Debate.
I believe that men are the weakest being on earth.
I would say I'm independent. Does that bother you?
Yeah. Woman must be submissive.
And even the husband in the home, we sometimes take care of them as babies. They are outside as bosses, but when they come home, they are babies.
We shouldn't allow Westerners to impose their cultural understanding of what a family is on us Africans.
My husband is not really a good cook, but I can really enjoy it when he fry me egg.
Oh, they're even holding hands. Let me tell you, we are feeling so single today on this set. Hello and welcome back to the 77% Street Debate. This week we are in Liberia's capital of Monrovia. Now you might be familiar with the expression strong African woman. In this country they certainly are, having had a female president in Ellen Sirleaf Johnson. But this strength in women is sometimes discouraged when it comes to romantic relationships, particularly in the African context. And today we want to find out why. Who better to answer this question for me than some Liberians? And we're going to start with the couple. On the panel, we have a couple. They're so loved up. Austin and Chantal, thanks for joining us. So let's start with the basic question of your day-to-day. When you wake up in the morning, give me a little clue about who does what in the morning. What's your morning routine like? Chantal, you're really smiling. Let me start with you.
Well, thank you. In the morning, I wake up around 5:30 and get my kid ready for school while he's there getting ready for work.
Okay, so would you say that your domestic responsibilities are sort of equally split between the two of you?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But I mean, this is not something easy, right? A lot of couples have difficulties doing this, even in a modern world. Austin, how did you manage to strike this balance?
I think it comes more with the level of education I got before getting into the relationship. So I had to read a couple of books before getting married. I had to go through counseling for like 4 months, so it kind of prepared me. So basically, I'm able to wake up early morning and get hot water for the kids. I'm able to be bathing the little girl while she is preparing cocoa oats or something. So yeah, I think it's good and I enjoy doing it.
Abraham, where are you? I know that you have a biblical name and also an old-fashioned stance on the concept of equality in relationships. Tell me a little bit about that.
For me, I come with an African cultural background, and there are rules ascribed to men, both men and women. So if you know your responsibility, and you know your right, and you know your limit, we can have discussion, and these things can go on.
All right, so that I'm not assuming anything, tell me what these responsibilities are based on your roles. And by the way, we're keeping it strictly heteronormative for the purposes of this conversation, yeah?
So, for instance, I believe that most of the host choices in our African context are the responsibility of the woman, but the man can be of help.
Let me tell you, I'm laughing because the women behind me are really sighing. You started something, and I would like you to complete it, please. So you started by telling me women's responsibilities in a relationship, a heteronormative one, do all the house chores.
No, I said most of the most of the house choice is the woman's responsibility.
So what does the man do then?
In our Liberian setting, is the head of the home, and he actually is the one who provides security for the home, for the family. He's responsible to provide for the home.
Okay, Onekia, tell me what's going through your mind, because you were twitching your fingers as he was speaking.
Yes. I mean, I was so excited because previously when we discussed, he was like, equality in relationship matters or so, and I was like, no. So now, actually hearing him defending what I stand for, that's why I'm even cheering him out. But the truth is, Liberia is a Christian nation, first day. So having a man and a woman in the home, there can be no equality.
So, okay, just for clarity, Onekia here definitely believes in the biblical roles assigned in Christianity. And so you think that the man is definitely the head and the woman should submit.
Yes.
All right. Tell me what you're thinking, Noah. Noah is a female, is a feminist and an activist.
Knowing that Liberia was set on the basis of patriarchy just explains why they're, saying these different things. But when you look at who set those rules, who gave the responsibilities of a woman taking charge of the home and doing the choices, you will know that the men set those rules, and which we believe were very biased, right? Because women's potential is way beyond just taking care of home. So I think there is a very big inequality based on the foundation of patriarchy that was set up in our society that sets our system to be very biased.
All right, I want to hear from some people at the back, right? Let me get some reactions. Come closer to me, please.
I don't want to enter a marriage as a young girl, coming to a house to just cook, take care of somebody, knowing that my responsibility is just to stick to the house. I want to be a lady to contribute to society. If everyone can contribute, what about me?
Yeah. Okay, that's a good question that she's asked. Let's have somebody else here.
I'm a traditionalist. Now I stand against the issue of women having equal right with men in the home. And that is why I'm here in Monrovia to defend our culture. And women must be submissive. It never used to happen like that. The only reason why we have a feminist, we have a woman activists, it is because they have acquired education.
So would you rather they just stayed at home, weren't educated? Like
that's the role of a woman. They have to be home. They have to take care of the house, the home, the house activities. That's it. That's tradition. That's our culture. Why is it that they should harmonize themselves? Why is it that they should adapt the other culture?
Okay, so quick question. I'm a woman here who's doing this job of asking questions and moderating. I would say I'm independent. Does that bother you?
Yeah, a woman in our African culture must not be independent. If you are independent in our African culture, then you are comparing yourself to the men in the village.
What if I told you that in my culture, women are actually the heads of the home?
That's your culture. In our culture, in our setting here in Nimba County, the women are very submissive.
Okay. Let's hear from the people who are snapping.
Yes. I believe that men are the weakest being on earth.
Men are the weakest beings on earth. Wow, okay.
So they use those rules to limit women. Because women can multitask. Women can be a professional person. They can be a housewife. They can be a family person. And men can't do that. So they limit that. They limit you to a extent that you are supposed to be in a particular position for you to enter in a marriage or relationship. It's not that way.
Okay. Just a second. Let me just bring this group back to order, so that we can get rooted back in our conversation. So there are a few issues that have been raised here, which I want to just check with. The first one is that African culture dictates that the man is the head of the home. Sure, yeah. But this is not true across most African cultures. In fact, most of them are matriarchal. So what happens to your argument then, Abraham?
So
it might actually be argued that it is un-African to be patriarchal.
What we are saying is being taken out of context because, and no disrespect to feminists and other people.
I think you're about to disrespect.
No, no disrespect, but there is a responsibility assigned to somebody, and that does not take away me being a help or me being a partner to my fiancé, but our African culture, it says it assigns role to everyone. So that role should be respected. And we shouldn't allow Westerners to impose their cultural understanding of what a family is on us Africans.
Okay, so let me come back to the couple. Oh, they're even holding hands. Let me tell you, we are feeling so single today on this set. So when you hear some of these assertions, I can imagine that there must also be people in your family who also hold similar views.
The community says the lady should wake up and, wash the dishes. You, the man, you wake up, just get ready for work and move on. And then you start to follow that. I don't get it, why I should do that. So I wake up early morning, and what is going to shock people is that the man, you as a man, you benefit a lot if there's equality in the home. So I think we should have that. So I wake up and wash dishes. It's normal. It keeps us happy. Sometimes it's a lot of fun too. Your mother comes to visit you, and then she sees you washing the dirty clothes. She's like, why is my son washing dirty clothes?
Okay. Yes. So, Chantal, let me hear from you. Did you get grief from the in-laws? You're making their son wash dishes. How dare you?
Let me say this. It's good to have a helping husband in the home. It's very, very good. It helps you relax. My husband is not really a good cook, but I can really enjoy it when he fry me egg. I can really enjoy it when he fry me plantain. He's not really a good cook, right?
Yeah. All right. Let me.
I want to come back real quick. Just in the meaning. Even the Bible, I'm a Christian, she is. Even the Bible says you should submit one to another. Right. So it's not about the woman submitting to you, the man, but you guys got to submit to each other.
I have to come to Anekia back for that.
That place of submitting one to another is at the place where we talk about, and Sarah, let me just go back a bit. When Chantal was talking, she mentioned about my husband helping. So let's say, for example, if I have this task to do, and I call him a helper, that means it's actually mine, and he's only coming to fill in. But when it comes to the place of maintaining law and order in the home, there should be a head. And that is the reason why nationally we have presidents, right? At our various working places, we have bosses, right? So in the home, there should be a head.
Okay, so because you mentioned president, I mean, if this is your position, right? How did you feel when Liberia elected a female president? Did you feel it was out of pocket?
That shows that women could also lead, right? But it doesn't mean that as a president in her home, if she had one, it doesn't mean that because she's the president of the Republic of Liberia, so she's going to be the head of her home.
Okay. No, there's something that was mentioned regarding the choice of words, and I think Onekia explained it really well. The use of the word help. Chantal has said it again, my husband helps around the house. Are we using the correct language here? Because of what she said, it implies that the job is yours and somebody is just coming to assist.
Yeah, I think we're not using the right words because it's not help, right? I manage projects. And one thing I know about partnership is that you have two different people with different ideas and different backgrounds coming together to agree on something that they want to do and share similar values, right? And that's the same with partnership. So there's no one coming to help the other because they feel the other is down. So in that light, I would say, I go back again to say that society, on its foundation, our society was being biased. And this is why you see education, he talked about Western people coming. Change is inevitable because of education, right? The things we knew 10 years ago have changed. The way we did things, we no longer do it, right? We've come to realize the potential of women, especially looking at us having a precedent, a female president, right? And looking at what she was able to achieve in her term and how she uphold the issue of equality and women's potential, not just in Liberia, but regionally and as well globally. To tell you that women have more potential and not just horse choices and having men come to.
Okay, let me hear from Magdalene for a second because we haven't spoken to her. I just want to investigate this idea of the head of a home because Noah has talked about partnerships. In a contemporary world that we live in today, do we still need that classical head of a home?
Well, I have no interest in relationship anymore. It is because of what I went through when I was in relationship. So I had to quit 2019 because I had an abusive partner, overly protective, and he was very abusive. So I went through it. I held my God like king. I have to wake up in the morning and put socks, put boxer, and running all behind him.
Wait.